Let's start. Okay, so this is day one of the boot camp, and Shopify changes things so many times all the time. As I'm speaking, as I'm showing you stuff, they're going to change it, but it's always a good thing, right? If they change things, it means that they are upgrading and listening to their customers. And I've particularly asked for a couple of things. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to show you. No, so the first thing we're going to talk about is domain names. And this is very important because a domain name is how you're going to be recognized. But there are a couple of rules. And here's okay, Jim as well. So there are a couple of rules about domain names, which are, okay, I'm gonna show you my little notes here so you can read along with me. Hang on. So one of the big rules are, do not try and name your domain name too close to anybody's, right? The other rule is, and let me go down the list here, is easy to remember. We will not right now get domain names that are very short because everybody's got them. If we're lucky, we will. Don't make it too cutesy because people don't remember. You're not Coca-Cola or whoever's famous already, right? Try and get whatever you're doing, whether it's skincare or whatever. Yes, Jim?
Yeah, I was going to say one of the things that I did with my Dealcasters brand is we get .live,
Yes.
.shop. So if you're live streaming, if you've already got a .com, why not use a .live or a .shop?
Yeah,
it makes
exactly.
it easy for people to remember.
But here's another rule. Do not if you registering your domain name, do not say, well, somebody's got the .com, I will now register the .net. Because, and here's an example, this is one of my little wee clients. So she's got hugpatrol.net. .com are these guys, right? So guess what people are going to remember? They're going to remember .com. They're not going to remember .net. Actually, she's doing reasonably well. And that's one of the bad things about trying to, so here was an example as well, as I had a client that actually did .net and the .com was a sex site. So they sold whatever. Yes, exactly. So you do not want to lose your clients, right? So that's a huge thing. Obviously it has to be available. Choose a .com. Don't fall in love with your name that you think you want to call it. Have several options. Keep it as short as possible. And here's an example. One of my clients called her company the Missing Piece Puzzle Company.com, which was way too long, and we managed to shorten it, thankfully. But and then there was another client of mine that said, hey, was Parisian's Pure Indulgence, way too long. So imagine your domain name behind an email, and then you'll know that this doesn't fit. If it's too long, it's just going to be too much, right? So try and keep it as short as possible, but always, always, always stick to .com. Do not get sucked down into the hole of .net or .co or .anything. But as Jim mentioned, once you got your domain name, you can also buy the other domain names. Like for instance, as Jim has .live, I have .live as well because I actually use it in my books so that people can read the domain names easily in the book when they have the print, right? So keep it as short as possible. But here, as I've shown you, the Missing Piece Puzzle has really got whatever she's doing in her domain. So it's a little bit cute, but it's whatever she has in the domain. It has to be easily spelled. Another client of mine has invisibles with a C instead of with the S because of the vitamin C in his skincare. So, but everybody gets it wrong, right? So what it means is that, well, invisible actually is the teeth thing. So it's got nothing to do with skincare, but people will spell it the wrong way. You've got to remember that. And then sound the name out aloud, like another client. I've got all these good examples. Mystic Not Work. When I saw the domain, I said, my stick not work? That's really weird. And so it comes from Mystic, and they make not works. They make they're not ropes and stuff for whatever, you know, they do this type of thing, which is really, really cute. Anyway, so sound it out as well, because it can sound a little bit weird. Be descriptive, and if you can, add whatever you're doing in the domain name as well, because it will also help with your SEO, right? Your SEO is your keywords that people are looking for when you're going online. So it just adds to it. You can also use your own name, which I've used my own name. There is Tata Harper. There is, actually, she's got Tata Harper and Tata Harper Skincare. Veronica Beard, who actually sells jeans, and I compete with her online, by the way. So, I mean, she's a lot more famous than me, but because she sells really expensive jeans. And then do not choose a name that's similar to a brand, because once you do that, it confuses people again, right? Another example, my sons were going to sell paintball stuff online while they were in high school about 20 years ago. They called it Paintzilla. We did get a cease and desist letter from Japan. We were newly in America. So the big shock from Godzilla told us to cease and desist. Okay. So what you need to do is use whois.org to see if your name is available. Let's see if I can get it. Whois.org is a really good way to check your domain names. Come on. Or what I normally is going very slow. What I normally do is I go to GoDaddy, which is one of the big hosting companies. You don't have to stick to them, but they have a really good database where you can check. They check online if your domain is available or not. Okay. So, and then Whois will show you actually if somebody actually owns the domain. So another client of mine, we have, he's going to be called Gray Fox. Nobody owns the domain. So somebody is actually selling the domain. And what that means is, let me show you. If I go to GoDaddy and I'll say, I want Gray Fox, fox.com, and they say, somebody owns it. And this guy I think he's part of GoDaddy. He will actually go and see if he can get the domain name for you, because you might be able to just buy it, right? But try and think of not, you see what I mean by a shortened name. Somebody always owns a short name. Go for a longer domain name. Okay, now we are going to be talking about just the basics in business, because a lot of people don't realize what you need to have in the basics of your business, which is, okay, let me just mute Marilyn. Okay, so the basics of the business. Register your company. Don't just think of using your personal name. Whatever you're doing online or in business, it means that you need to be protected. If you can't afford, say for instance, if you're starting a company, you can't afford to register your name, your actual business name, do a DBA. Start small, but do a DBA, which means doing business as in your state. If you are, I know Bartik is in, I think is in Poland. And so in Europe, you have to actually register your name with the Chamber of Commerce, and it's a lot more complicated. But it's always a good idea to register your name and not use your personal name in your business. Make sure you've got a business bank account, right? Because you want to separate your personal business from your business finances. Really good tip in the beginning. Get a sales tax, which is a resale certificate from your state. You have to pay taxes in the state that you registered your business in, which means that if somebody buys from you are going to pay taxes to buy your product. If that happens, you have to pay the state the taxes. It doesn't belong to you. That's why I say keep those business expenses or business finances separate from your personal. You have to pay the IRS, right? Again, you know, internationally it's a little bit different, but you still have to pay the IRS. They want their money, doesn't matter where you live. As I said, make sure you have a business bank account, resale. Another thing is if you live in New Hampshire, you do not pay sales tax, which is really confusing because if you register for, say for Google and you were selling your stuff on Google, they want you to pay taxes. And so you have to set it up a little bit differently in Shopify, by the way. And also what I do have for you is a checklist. Yes, I do. I have a checklist, a little bit of a checklist, which I really use as my my onboarding worksheet. I will make this available to you with a link. And this is where I keep all my clients and myself, all my information, so that when you have to start in Shopify, you've got all this information already, right? Actually, Jim, I need to send you this, because you need to add all this information into Shopify. And it is much easier if we have it on file already without having to go and start looking for it. I'm going to come back to domain names in a minute again, once we register for Shopify. So, and then also social accounts, you know, people tend to forget their account, their passwords, or what email they've used for social accounts. Try and remember them. And we'll go through that probably on day 3. I'm going to be talking about sales channels that you can use in Shopify. Advertising accounts probably won't have that yet. And competition, I'm going to give you some homework for competition right now. And that's all I've got. But I'm going to share this with you so that you know, so you can keep your own information. And what I would suggest is just going and making a copy. Otherwise, everybody will be filling out the same form, right? So I'll give this available at the end. And then I'll also have a list of how I actually set up Shopify. Is just a couple of questions I normally ask my clients. And then I go through the list of what we need to do and how to set it up. I'm also going to make this available. Whether you use it or not doesn't matter, but it's a really good list. So let's start from the beginning. I want to talk about brands and how you're going to use your colors, your images, or whatever you're going to use on your website. And I know Marilyn has already started. She's been very proactive. So find 5 to 10 brands that you like. It doesn't have to be in your sphere, but in your niche market. But just find something that you really like, the colors or what they're doing. So again, you know, my experience and what I do is for each and every client, what I will do is I will start looking at what's the competition doing? What are the colors are they using? What are they not doing? How can I improve my store by looking at their stores? So here's a really good out of the sandbox. I buy all my templates from out of the sandbox just because I love them and they update them all the time. But here is a good little tip for you guys. From any of these, what are they called? Themes, right? That you upload to Shopify. You can go on the page, just check this out. It's so cool. And I do a lot of my research like this. You go right down to this page and it will say shops using Turbo. Okay, that's the theme that you would normally upload to Shopify. But what it does, it shows you an existing store that's on Shopify. So you're in the same box and you can see what they're doing, right? What are they doing? What are they doing right? What are they doing wrong? And listen, pop-ups after, not before, right? So what are they doing right? What are they doing wrong? You see where they're adding some really cool stuff. And then what I also do is I start looking at frequently asked questions, the shipping and returns, because you have to put your own shipping and returns in. A size guide, right? So Marilyn, you're selling clothes, right? You need a size guide. Oh, this is a good one. Virtual fitting. That's very cool. I will go over the normal pages that we need, which is privacy, terms of service, returns and refunds, and I'll show you where to set it up. Obviously, set it up as well. But you can see, I mean, look at their story. Look at what they have on their story page to see, you know what, this is really cool. I can use this, right? Don't copy and paste. Just use a similar thing or ideas that they're putting in. You see certified B Corp, I see is Canadian made, American made is very big, right? And then also what I've done is I've got one client that is doing, what's he doing? He's creating some tactical gear. Through these websites, I have found him an American made, what are they called? They sew stuff, right? So I actually found somebody for him, which he hasn't found yet, which is really cool. So have a look at out of the sandbox, and they, in each of these themes, they will have ideas that you can look at other stores in Shopify. Some of the stores are not available anymore. And then the other thing that I do as well, the ideas might be good, right? The ideas might be good. I take whatever they're doing, whatever the domain is, I go to Ubersuggest, which is one of my research websites. I put the domain in here, and this is a little bit advanced for you, but always check how much traffic do they have? Are they successful? Oh, these are really good. Look at this traffic, right? If they have traffic like 100 up to 1,000, you don't want to talk to them, right? But if they have really, really good organic traffic, you know that their website is working, their store is working, okay? So have a look at the traffic on Ubersuggest. Unfortunately, I think you can only do 3 searches, then they are done with you and you have to come back tomorrow. There is also, I think SEMrush does the same thing. So you can go to SEMrush. There's several that you can go on and actually just check the domains and see what the traffic is like. They do like you to sign up again. Sign up because everybody wants your money, okay? So that's really a good idea of how to research. Make sure that the store is making money, because then you know, actually, this is actually working. They are getting conversions, right? So now what we're going to do is we are going to go to, I'm not going to register the store. That's like a long, you have to go through the steps to register the store, answer the questions. It doesn't matter what you answer. They're just giving you, Shopify is just giving you suggestions on what they think they should add to your store. It doesn't really matter, right? So I'm going to show you several stores today that we're going to look at. I'm going to show you during this boot camp, I'm going to show you a store with a theme. I'm going to show you a store with a natural free theme from Shopify and how you can adjust that free theme in the beginning. Any theme costs money, unfortunately, you know. So, but what it means is that the theme has more possibilities of creating extra things on your website. In the beginning, you do not need that. You just need to make money, right? And you can do that on a free theme. So, and because there are basic rules that you have to do when you start setting up the thing. So the first thing we're going to do today is I'm going to take you to setting up your store. Let me show you again. So right here at the bottom is settings, right? Settings is where you will get all the back end, the shipping, the checkout information, all this really cool stuff that you have to set up before you even do anything else in Shopify. So let me come back to domains before we do anything else. In domains, you can literally register your domain with Shopify. They are a registered domain hosting company, which is absolutely fabulous, as I'll show you here. Oh, this is Jim. Okay, I'll show you here. Where's mine? I have 11 domains registered with Shopify because I've got several businesses, and then I've got my books, and I've got everything showing up to, you can see here, all these domains are registered with Shopify. So there is a restriction. I think you can only do 20. I don't know how many you can do, but I've just had a ball with it. So you can register as many domains as possible. Another thing about domains is, please remember, if you are, say for instance, if you had a name like the Missing Piece Puzzle, register your domain with a plural, because this is what happens. Again, an example of one of my clients. I set up a store in Yahoo 20 years ago. I had to code this whole thing by hand, 3,649 pieces of line items. Every single line I had to have its own code number. But anyway, this makes it so much easier these days, right? But what happened is he had flags and flagpoles.com. He had a manufacturing with employees. He had a store. And so we set it up. There was a guy in Florida, and he sold flags and flagpoles and all sorts of things. He sold the flags online. There was a guy in Florida who registered the domain name with the singular, stole some of his clients, and was very successful. And where my client was making $3 million a month, this little guy in his apartment was making $1.5 million by having his domain name. And so my client has been online forever. He had his domain name had history behind it, so it was very easy. So if you have a domain, and you can at any point you can say this domain needs a plural because it is familiar, I would suggest registering the plural. It always comes in handy. And here's another example: is I registered my domain as Veronica Lee Jeans, because my second name is Lee. I would love to own Lee Jeans, but anyway, Veronica Lee Jeans. I lost my domain because I did not have my credit card attached to my renewal. Yes, and I came on and boom, my domain was gone. But I could quickly register my veronicajeans.com. I did get my domain name back. I was very lucky. Somebody didn't grab it, because they have these bots out that will grab the domain name if you lose it. So make sure that you have your domains protected, and you have your credit card attached to your domain. So registering it with Shopify is really also a good idea, because you have it in the one box. Okay. Oh, yes, another thing about domains. So when you are registering your domain with Shopify, one of the things is Shopify is not an email hosting company. What does that mean? I cannot host my veronicajeans@veronicajeans.com, whatever name I want, with Shopify. I have to have an external an external domain name host, which again, is any of the big hosts are external hosts, like Bluehost, GoDaddy, Namecheap, whatever. They will register they will host your business email, or GoDaddy, or not GoDaddy, Google My Business, and also Zoho. Let me show you. Yeah. So if you register your domain with Shopify, they will give you aliases. An alias is like, what have I got here? I've got author.veronicajeans.com. I've got these, these are just domains, subdomains. I've got email@veronicajeans.com, hello@veronicajeans.com, info, and I don't like to use this because this sounds really weird, but I will receive the email in my Gmail account, which is really, really easy, because it will answer the email when you receive it in your Gmail account. It will answer the email in your other name. So that's available, but you still will need a hosting company. I don't even know how I host it. I think I host with GoDaddy, because lots of my domain names are with GoDaddy. If you want to switch your hosting company, it is G Suite or Zoho Mail. It's very, very easy to set up. You just follow the steps, and will be set up. You have to do all this other little bit of a DNS, but we won't go through that today. because it's a little bit more complicated. You can ask me. Saturday we have a Q&A, quite a long Q&A. If you set this up, you need some help, let me know. Okay, so here is one of the big things you need to do. It has to auto renew, because guaranteed you are going to forget to set up your domain name. And then Shopify is pretty within whatever else if anybody is charging. I think GoDaddy is actually charging me $19. So I mean, you only pay it once a year. I'm not really fussed about it. Okay, let's go from the beginning. When you register your store, you are going to be adding. No, you won't, because this will be added into your Shopify store as you are registering. You can come back and actually change this information. So let me have a look in here. I'm going to show you this from a new perspective. So we registered this. Your store name is whatever you add when you register your store name as a domain name, right? So let me show you. Yes. So this is, you got to change this, because this is here. You can see here, this is what Shopify will register for you as you are registering your domain name. Maybe I have an example for you. So for instance, so nobody will actually see that name outside of you when you're on your admin. You see here, my name is Veronica Lee Jeans-com. That's how I registered it. This is not visible outside of my Shopify admin. This is what jeans.com. This is what everybody will see, right? They will actually see your registered domain name. They will not see whatever you've registered in your Shopify store. And let me get this to the side as well. So we are going to, so you're going to come back in here, and you're actually going to change this, because this name is going to be available on your invoices, on your orders, everywhere where Shopify is going to be adding your name, including your policies, right? So make sure that you have registered your store name properly here at the top. I'm sure I won't be able to, I'm going to show you this. So in the beginning, you don't put your telephone number in, and you will add I've set this up, so that's why my email is in here. You will add your store name, your store email in here, that only used by Shopify. Hang on, see about your store. Yes, okay. This is only used by Shopify to actually send you information about your Shopify store. So check this out. Now, if I save this, no, it's saved without the telephone number. That's weird. Okay, it changes all the time. Add your telephone number in here. If you have a store telephone number, again, this number will be added to your store policies, which is Shopify will do automatically. So do not, in fact, I need to add his email in here. Do not put your phone number in here, your cell phone, if you don't want it available on the website. Now we're going to the billing information. Your legal business name is very important, because that's what not Shopify will see, but this is what will go in on your invoices that you're paying for Shopify. You want to have your legal business name. And anyway, is this good for tax purposes as well, because you don't want your personal stuff in here. You want your business name in here, so you can take those tax deductions at the end of the year, right? So you really want to push everything through your business. And then obviously your address, wherever you're living. Store currency, obviously in America, you have US dollars. Batik will have euros, or wherever you are. So put in your store currency that you are going to be using, or where you are going to be selling, right? And then obviously this is also added automatically as the state goes in here. So this is Eastern time. If my state was in here, then it would be a Central time. Again, this is the unit that you're selling in. So if you use metric, put in metric or imperial, obviously. And this is also actually, this you can change in your I've never changed this, except if it's in metric, then this changes to kilogram, right? But if you're selling per ounce, which we're doing in this store here in Kalahari Gold, which we're selling per ounce oil, then I changed that actually in the product section. And then this I normally leave alone. I don't really care about that. You know, some people want to make sure that people, you know, that customers don't realize this is a new store. I really don't worry about it. It is all good to go. So next is we're going to go through the plan. If you're starting a store, start off with the basic plan. Don't worry about these because you're not making that much money. Unless you have a retail store, you will need to upgrade to $79. I will start on the lowest plan, which is $29. There is a plan which is $5, but believe me, you can't sell anything. You can only use the order, the checkout, I think. So you only use it as a shopping cart. This is Shopify is more than a shopping cart. It is actually you can have your pages on it, you can have your blogs on it, you can do your POs on it, you can do draft orders, you can do anything through Shopify. Billing, again, this is how you pay Shopify. You obviously add your payment method and your subscription. This is how you know how much you pay Shopify. This is just goes in automatically as you're registering your company. You get two, it sounds like a lot here, right? This is a new account. When you register your Shopify domain, you only have 2 accounts. They do not give you more than 2 accounts. This is a upgrade to a bigger plan, right? So I'll show you on this one here, 2 accounts. Yes, this is a good idea. So only 2 accounts once you are registered on the shorter plan. You do not need more than that. I'm normally registered as your collaborator if I'm helping you. It doesn't take away from the user account. I will gladly be in as your collaborator to help you set up your account. But we can talk about that at the end for the Q&A. Payments, oh yes, this is important. So payments. This is an important part of how you're going to set up your Shopify store. When you're starting out, payments is how are you going to get paid? And Shopify has a very, very, very easy setup. You literally have to add the information in, add all your, they do need your personal stuff as well. So obviously I'm not going to set this up. I'm going to just show you what happens is if you're a registered business, you will do this. As I said, you do not have to be a registered business. It's a very good idea to be a registered business. So you set up your state and everything. I'm going to go through this here, and as I've set it up here in my other account, these are the credit cards that are available to you. You can make a decision on which one not to cover. My philosophy is give your customers as much opportunity to buy from you, right? ShopPay is a new system. Well, it's actually 2 years old. A new system with Shopify that gives you, they have a community of Shopify stores that they've got on an app that can also buy from them. Again, we will talk about this because it's more like a sales channel. But ShopPay is very good. It just also makes people actually pay very quickly. And there's more things to the ShopPay. Is a very good idea. Shopify also give you opportunities to pay by installment. What that means is, maybe I've set up here. Actually, let me look here. What that means is Kalahari Gold. Here we go. And if you're looking at the products, your customers can buy your product and pay it off. It doesn't mean that they pay you off. They actually pay this to the credit card company, which is ShopPay. And so ShopPay collect the money from the customers. It's got nothing to do with you. What happens is you get paid immediately, well, within 3 days, and we'll show that option as well. As actually within same day, 2 days, and 5 days. 3 options now with Shopify. But it gives your customers it gives you to actually, or your customers, more opportunities to add more to their shop, to their cart, and you make more money, right? So that's actually a very good idea to do. Then they have also the wallets is a very good idea to open those as well. These are local payments in Belgium and Netherlands. Obviously, use this as Kalahari Gold. This gets, you can do this if you want to, if you're selling internationally. What I would suggest to do is sell in your country first. Make sure you know what the shipping is like, what the charges are like. You're getting used to dealing with things in your own state, well, country, right? America, or Bartik is in Holland and Poland, and then start working internationally, because it's a total different ball game when you have to deal with sales tax and all that other stuff. And so the payouts is where they're actually going to pay your account. Oh, I can't show you in here. And so you are literally going to just add your bank account and your routing number, right? And then there are 3 ways you can actually, and I can't show it here right now. There are 3 ways you can get paid. Is if you register with if you have a shop balance with Shopify, is a registered bank that they have now, or if you register, you can get your money in 2 days, is if you register with Plaid, which is a bank that actually that will connect to your bank, will verify your account, you get your money in 2 days, or it goes directly, there's no verifications, into your bank account. So there are 3 ways the money will go into your bank account. It's for you to choose whatever you're going to do. All those ways are guaranteed FDCIE, whatever, FD bank version. Okay, yes, thank you. Yes, bank verified. Okay, so the rates for domestic is 2.9 and 30 cents transaction fee. This is pretty much across the board. Whatever you're doing in the rest of the world will pay a little bit extra. Unfortunately, that is what you're doing. So now we're going to get to PayPal. I always say, give people as many opportunities to pay you as possible. Activating PayPal is literally going online. Let me see here. Activating it, I can show it on this one. Literally activate PayPal. You activate PayPal, put your information in here. Obviously, you have, I don't think you actually need an account. PayPal might actually set it up for you. It is extremely easy. But what happens is PayPal, the money goes into your PayPal account. It does not automatically go to your bank account unless you set, I think you can set it up in PayPal right now. That way, I'm not sure. They keep changing things as well. But again, you know, it's just another way, and it's amazing how many people will pay by PayPal because they can claim the money back very easily. Here's Amazon Pay is not, you're not a seller for Amazon. You are literally using Amazon as a credit card authorization company that will authorize the customer's credit card that they have on Amazon. So if you're an Amazon seller, you will have an Amazon Pay account as well. It won't be the same as an Amazon seller. So anyway, it's also very, very easy to set up and amazing. And why would you do this? Because, you know, people for some reason trust Amazon, right? They're a little bit bigger than us. So they don't really trust us as a small company. And so this is another way for your customers to actually pay you. I have it activated in mine. Let me see here. I activate all these things. You see, I've activated in mine. It's extremely easy. There's a couple of things, extra things you have to do is your client ID. They give you the authorization token, and then boom, off you go, right? Again, I've seen this being used by clients, customers, because again, especially if it's bigger amounts, they will trust Amazon more than what they trust you. The other ways that they can pay as well is bank deposit, money order, or cash on delivery. These are mostly used, this one is especially used in Africa, I think money order as well, bank deposit, what they call EFT. People in, I would say Europe and Africa are used to people paying this way. And I think it was Australia, etc. as well. But, you know what, I have used this. I must say I have used it as well, but as a service. Anyway, so now we're going to checkout. And I'm going to go through this very quickly. This is how I set it up. You update your checkout. So you can update your checkout now to one-page checkout. This is very cool. I'm going to do this while we're talking. So now, instead of having 2 pages to check out, Shopify have now activated a one-page checkout, which is always better because you don't want your customers to click too much. You customize your checkout. It pops you into your customize editor. And we will come back to this at in one of the days, because we're going to be talking about how to customize all your pages and everything. So now you want your customer contact method. Is how are your customers going to contact you? I like phone number and or email, because you want to give your customers as much opportunities to shop from you. SMS is getting really popular for people, so it is an easier way to also contact your customers. They will get their orders, they will get their shipment information on their SMS. They will agree. You need to obviously install the SMS app. They will agree to either one of these, right? And then show a download link to the shop app. I've got that as well, because this is also a way for you to actually sell to them on that shop app. Remember, we were talking about the shop app under the payment plan, right? This is the shop app. This is what we're going to be talking about in more in detail later on. So the shop app gives them, will send them also information about shipping, when they're shipping is, when the products, the order is going to be delivered, etc., etc. You don't really want to do this unless you are or have a wholesale account. You don't want people to log in. I really don't understand why some big brands do this. Really, really silly. Okay, only require last name. Very bad idea. You want your first and your last name. You want to get to know your customers. I always put in the company name because, again, you really don't know. People can buy from your store maybe if they are buying for the company, right? Make that optional. Address, always have the address line as optional as well. And you see here, Shopify have recommendations. Shipping address, I say optional as well. Shipping address, phone number, marketing options, email and SMS. This is on your, let's go to the checkout and I'll show you. On your checkout, when people are checking out, oh, I'm going to get this order now. They will have the options here to contact, right? They're going to put their contact in, but this is what's going to be checked. If I'm going to check this option here, this option pre-selected, it will have this pre-selected. So when they're adding their email or their phone number, that's going to be pre-selected. So I can market to them. They give me the permission to market them. But he can't do that because he's in Europe. That's a GB, the privacy thing in Europe. So my brain's going numb here. Okay. So if you're in Europe, you cannot do this. This, I think if you're in Canada, you can't do this either. And so right now I'm leaving it off. I'll always contact customers, say, hey, would you accept some marketing information from us? This also happens is if they, it's got to do with privacy stuff that you don't want to mess with. If you have, say, for instance, if you have a European customer, which could be if you're in America, right? Somebody could sign up if they look like Bartik signed up, right? So you could have European customers sign up as well for stuff. So it is up to you. Some of my clients leave it on, some of them don't. I've left I've left it off because I believe in choices. So I leave it off anyway. Okay, so tipping, I would love to be tipped, guys, but unless you're a hairdresser or somebody else, you're not going to get tipped. And some store owners have like a shop, a store, coffee shop or whatever. Obviously, then tipping is involved. Order processing, I always check this. Use the shipping address as the billing address. It gives people more opportunities not to have to fill in stuff, right? We don't want to fill in stuff. And also use address autocomplete, which is absolutely fabulous, right? You don't want them to put in too much information. You want to make it as easy as possible for them to get to the checkout. After an order has been paid, I only automatically fill gift cards. I like to be in control of my orders. Unless you have millions of orders and you can't control them, I would only do the gift cards. And we will set up the gift cards separately because that's literally a separate product as well. You can also do, actually, Marilyn might do, don't fulfill any of the orders at line items automatically. No, I'll just do gift cards, because you can only choose one of these, right? And I'll show you the orders as well, how it works in the order section as well. Automatically archive orders. Yes, if you fulfill the order, it will get archived. It will not disappear from your where am I? From your orders, right? It will always stay in your orders. Let me get out of here. It will always stay in your orders. It will never get taken out of here, right? So it will just go gray, which will mean that you have control over it. Order status, this is a pixel that we've added from Bing. Actually, this is a requirement from Bing. We won't do this. We will be doing this when we set up the sales channels. And then the checkout language is, you can change the language in checkout. This is going very slow today. I've got too many things open again. Hang on. And this is the language in checkout. I would not change it unless it really makes sense. Normally, on a normal situation, you don't need to change the checkout. Obviously, Shopify have experienced shopping platform and they know what to add in there, and it's pretty much what people are used to seeing in a checkout. Okay, so don't change the checkout language. Let's go back to settings so we can go through everything else here as well. Customer accounts, checkout. Okay, so we've done checkout. Customer accounts, I will leave it as it is because this is a way of setting up different customer accounts. We'll come back to that as well when you get a little bit for it. And next week, shipping and delivery, very, very important. So first, let's go to locations. When you are adding in your store details, look here. I have a PO box number, obviously, because that's my company name. That's what my EIN is in, and my resale certificate is in. That's the address that's in it. So that's my business information. Now that gets translated into a location where I'm shipping from. I cannot ship from a post box, amazingly, right? So Shopify will set it up as my default shipping location. So you have to change that in here. You're just going to add a different location. Who's this? Kalahari, yes. You're just going to add a different location in here. Let's have a look here. Shop location. So this is what you're going to see. Shop location is no address yet, and it will tell you the address couldn't be verified. So when you add an address in here, let's add my address in here. Shipyard Drive, then let's see if it'll accept it. Yep. So if it doesn't accept it, it means that the shipping companies cannot verify your shipping address, right? So you cannot use the order fulfillment, the invoice, and also the printing of your labels in your orders. And so also you start collecting taxes wherever you're shipping from. Again, here's the rule, is if you are registered in Texas, for instance, but you are shipping from Wisconsin, and we're actually shipping from Wisconsin for one of my clients, you have to collect taxes in both states. That's a requirement right now. So you have to start collecting taxes in both states. So just remember that. And so what you would have to do is actually register as a business in the state where you are shipping out from. If you're using, say for instance, using Amazon as a fulfillment center, you won't have to do that because they're collecting the taxes. All right. So let's go back to shop location. And then say, for instance, if you are using a drop shipper, like here, I've added this drop shipper this morning because I wanted to show you. Drop shipper this morning. No, I didn't. Okay, let me show you in mine. So if you are using, let me see here. Drop shipper. Okay, I can't see in here right now. Dropshipper is like if somebody, like Printful, right? Printful, I use as a print on demand. I do t-shirts and I do all sorts of things through them. They are a dropshipper and their address will be automatically added to your shipping information. So you will not have to add that if you're using a dropshipper. If you're using a proper dropshipper that is registered with Shopify. Some of the dropshippers aren't registered with Shopify where you will have to set up the shipping yourself. Okay, so then the default location is where are you shipping from is your default location. So you can literally ship from several locations. So we're shipping from LA and we're shipping from what's it here, Texas. So I've got 2 shipping locations. This is new. Okay. This is absolutely fabulous. They always come up with some new stuff, Shopify. We'll talk about this later on. And then I'm testing out Amazon MCF, which is a fulfillment center, just to see what it's like. I'm always testing different things out just to see how it actually works in Shopify and to show my clients. Gift cards we'll come back to. In this instance is once we set up the gift card, you put your expiration in here. Mine never expires because I'm using my gift cards all the time. It's always a good idea to set up gift cards because you can use them as the last option just before Christmas for people to buy gift cards in your store. These are let me go back to a new store. So we got markets here. So for right now, the United States is set up as a market for us. International is inactive, as you can see here. We haven't set it up as a market. As I said, try and work in the United States first before you start working in different global markets. What this means is that your shop will literally show. So for instance, if you have Canada as a market, in your store, the Canadian dollar will show up the equivalent of what the price is in dollars, right? At the market value. So this is a great way to expand your store. And you're obviously not going to do that when you're starting out. The apps and sales channels are, and I love how they put online store in here as a sales channel now. This is added automatically, flows only for Shopify Plus. They're added in here because they don't know whether you're a Shopify Plus customer yet or not. And then the point of sale is a light point of sale, which means that you can actually use your phone or your iPad. Say, for instance, if you're in an event or you have a pop-up or whatever you are selling your products, you can use a point of sale, a light point of sale. A proper point of sale is the next plan, which is $79 a month, where you have a retail store. You have literally have there's a lot more going on a point of sale where you have the software or the hardware and everything for your store as well. So when you're looking at my store and my apps, since I'm testing out a lot of them, it goes on and on and on. And you really don't want your store to look like this because every single app puts some code in your store, which means it slows down your store, okay? So you don't really want to do this. You leave the testing to me and I'll tell you what to use. Now, and we talked about the domains. Customer events, we're not going to talk about now. It's for other stuff. The one thing we want to talk about is the brand. So once you have identified what you want to look like, what's your logo going to look like? We're going to talk about the logo a little bit as well. What you want your characteristics of your favorite brands. What do you want to look like? You want to look cutesy, you want to look more serious. What is your brand going to look like? And then how do you want, and this is part of what your mission statement is going to be for your company. Is really, I got this through Jim. I got this with my good mate. I've forgotten his name. And he allowed me to use this, that I actually went through the system with him. And I think it's a really good way to identify your colors, what your brand is going to look like, what your, what's it called? Your logo is going to look like. And we're going to quickly talk about logos. Now, people tend to, and Jim, I'm going to use you as an example. You do not want your logo to do this. And Jim literally just whacked this up there. So this is a really good example. You don't want your logo to look like this. This looks very odd, right? You want your logo to reflect, obviously to reflect the colors in your logo. You're going to reflect the colors in your store, but this looks very odd, right? And I have another one. I wonder if I can pop her up as well. Cooperative. Maybe not. Also, very, very odd. You got to really think about your whatever it is, your logo. So when I'm looking at industrial farm co, it always wants to go into the domain. We've just used a logo as font, right? Because this is what her real logo looks like. And I hope I can see it here. I'm sure we have it at the bottom somewhere. This is what her logo looks like, right? So we literally took the font and then created a simple logo at the top. And why is that? So when you're looking at Jim's website, you see this here, this is all real estate. You want customers to see as much as possible above the fold, which means where the browser cuts off on the actual page. And you don't know what they're using, whether they're using an iPad or their phones or their smaller iPad or a big screen in the office, like Barron, she's seeing everything, right? Or are they looking on a laptop? So you don't really know how they're perceiving your page, and you don't want to lose this really good real estate here. This is all blank space. You want them to have the best experience possible. So if you're looking at this here, we've used this for her phone number and for her social, but it takes up as little space as possible so we can see the actual message here, right? So that's what I'm saying about having your logo as small as possible. And then another way to do it, if your logo is, for instance, let me go back to Jim's. If your logo is like this, the marketing side, you can't really see the marketing text, right? And you won't see it on most, but I would say 65 to 70% of people shopping on their phones these days before they come to the website to buy or to their iPads to buy. They're not going to see the marketing, but maybe a good idea is to have Fusion and marketing on the side, so it's more of a longer domain name. And there are some restrictions. There's some restrictions. Let me see here on Shopify, where if it's too long, then it's going to make this very small, because your what are these called? Your tabs, your menu take precedent, right? So your logo is important, but not as important as when people come to shop, they just want to see. I mean, if you're looking at Amazon, how small is the logo? What's more important is your products and whatever you see in your store. We are here. Okay. So brand. So what I have here is I've got my logo long, which comes onto my website. And then I also have my logo as a square. And this logo, I'm just random. I randomly use logos, but this logo I actually use on my social as well. So you got to think about your social when you're going on Facebook, for instance, or on Instagram. On Facebook or Instagram, let's see here, that you cannot put a long logo like that on, okay, a long logo like that on, let me see here. Because everything, all profiles in social are round, right? Or square. So make sure that your logo fits into that square. So you don't have to have the logo always the same, but your name has to be sort of similar. So we have used this as the font, and then we use this logo here as what she has in her social account. Okay, so that's about the logo. And then in the branding and settings, then in the branding, you also use your primary colors. And I've just randomly used colors so I can show you what it actually looks like in the various positions that Shopify actually pulled it in. And this is a completely new thing, this brand thing. It hasn't been here for long. So you can see where it pulls it into my email, my Shopify emails, shop and collabs, Google, YouTube. And this is what's going to look like. It's very, very bright, right? Okay. And then also you have a cover image. I still have not seen where they use this, but as I said, it's new. So I've just added that. I would love to see where they use it. The slogan, I'll show you how to use it in your customize author, customize editor. I have a very short description. You've got 150 characters. I've added that. And this also helps you when you're setting up on social. You can use these as well. And then you also have your social links. So these will be translated into your emails or your store. And another thing why I like using a paid theme, and there is no LinkedIn on here, unfortunately. There's Vimeo, there's chat, Snapchat, Tumblr, TikTok, and there are Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, YouTube, and Facebook. But if you have a paid, and that will pull through, as I said, through to these positions here at the top. It'll pull through, depending on your theme, it'll pull through here at the bottom. It'll pull through onto your emails that you're using with Shopify. I'll show you that as well. So it will automatically be added everywhere. So it's a good idea to use the brand just so that you know you don't have to add this information every time or look for it every time, right? Okay, so I think we're going to stop there. Maybe we'll do one more. Let's do one more. Notifications. So notifications, if you guys have time, we'll just do one more. Notifications is, come on. All the emails that go out automatically from Shopify, which is your order emails, your fulfillment emails, your shipping emails, all these ones, order invoice, your canceled, your pay receipt, refund. This is for POS, your point of sale, error payments, your shipping, your out for delivery, delivered. And I've checked all these because I like these going out. Local delivery. So if you are a local store or if you actually deliver locally, then we're going to add this to your shipping and your delivery method. I checked these as well. Local pickup, so people can actually pick it up locally. So some of my clients have used another store to actually drop their stuff off in a basket or something, so people can pick it up locally, so they have the choice. And we'll set that up as well. And then you have your customer accounts, right? How people are actually creating their customer accounts. Gift cards issued. Every single gift card in Shopify gets a key, gets a specific key that is per customer. So no customer has the same key. So you always know when you're giving a refund, it's automatically checked in Shopify. Then your email marketing, confirmations, email goes out, return labels. Now Shopify have automatic return and tracking. I have not updated that because I don't like doing my customers doing their own returns labels. I think I should contact them. It's always a good conversation to have with your customers and actually solve a problem without them going, hey, I want to send this back. And there are a lot of cheaters in them in the e-commerce world. They'll send back anything that they actually use. So we will go through that wording that you have to have in your refunds, which actually Shopify do it automatically as well, but we have to change it a little bit. So double opt-in for people for marketing, and then the staff notifications. So this is automatically set up. Let me see here. I think I'm going to get Jim's emails, which I really, really, really don't want them. But automatically that email that I have set up is send the email, right? That is going to be set up in Shopify automatically. Let's have a look here. I don't really, really want these orders, but you will be able to set up any recipient that is a staff with you. You see here, Jim and I both staff in this, and then you can actually set it up per location as well. So this is really cool. So if you have somebody actually doing your orders eventually when you're making lots of money, then this is where you're going to actually set up the staff account. And we'll actually go through something as well as, and then also you can actually take somebody off here as well. So you're totally in control who's actually looking at this. I'm going to show you something else. So the orders that the emails that your customers see is this sender email in notifications. Obviously mine is not going to be in here. My order email, let's have a look what mine is set up as, which is actually very interesting because mine has been, so I've got mine set up as hello@veronicajeans.com. You have to verify this email with Shopify. Otherwise, they will use your domain name .shopify.com or something like that. So you just have to resend this to your email, verify it, and then it will be added to your email like it is here. So that's my verified email for all my notifications. You can also customize your email. Obviously, I love my colors, right? I've customized my email. I've added my signature in here, and I'll show you a little bit of that as well. I've added little bits of stuff in the bottom. No, I haven't. Actually, I did. And so you can actually change some of the customized emails. You do have to have a little bit of HTML experience, but I like to add a little bit of personalization to my emails. So I think that is it for today. Any questions? I know I've gone through it very, very quickly. I will have this up in 2 hours on my website, so you can go through it very, very, very slowly. And then any questions, I will have the links on that page as well. I'll put all these videos on my website. I will have all the links to the onboarding sheet, my list of things that you need to look at when you're setting up your Shopify store. Any questions, just let me know. My email, I'm going to put my email here at gmail.com. And then also I'm available on chat anytime in Messenger if you want to connect to me on Messenger. I don't know if you can unless you like my page. So like my page, and then we can connect. I also have I also do a free workshop on Mondays. So you're very welcome to pop in and have a chat with people that have stores as well. It's for free. I have it every Monday throughout the year. Every now and again I cancel, but most of the time it's available. It's at 10 o'clock. For the next 3 weeks, it's at 11 o'clock in the morning at CST. Very welcome to come and have a pop in there and just have a listen to what people are doing. I'm always talking about stuff about Shopify, what's new, what we need to do for the summer, we're working on Black Friday and Christmas right now, because we have to get that ready. If you have a new store, you might be interested in that as well. You have to get up very, very fast. But this could be your first Christmas that you actually sell a couple of things. Anyway, let me just stop the recording.